Hey, a lot of you have been asking about how we set up the control systems with our Just Video walls. Welcome to Sarasota, Florida. We're here at Wicked Smart Homes. They have a 24x9, 151-inch Just Video Walls MicroLED here in their showroom, and they're using a system called Crestron. And this is just one of many types of control systems. I have their version of the handheld remote here. There's also a wall mount that you can get, which kind of looks like an iPad, like this. And most of the control systems out here have this type of functionality. And you can see we've got all of our presets set up for the different sizes and different layouts. The layouts themselves are set up in the processor. So in the processor, we actually have sort of like a WYSIWYG where you can drop in layers. So we've got one Apple TV here, one Apple TV here, and one here. And so basically what the control system is doing is switching back and forth from the different presets that we've set up already in the system. So for example, I like to watch really widescreen content. I like to play video games on widescreen. So what I want is I want a cropped image that can come in, or if I'm playing on a PC, it won't crop. I can set it to the exact resolution. In this case, it's 2880 by 1620. And I want that to fill the full screen. So all I have to do on the control system is come in and select the preset, one screen cropped, and then it recalls that preset. Now, you might see a little bit of flashing here because we actually have this going through a couple of different systems. Being that this is a 24x9, it's actually a little wider than a 235, so it will still crop a 235 just a little bit if you're pulling in your favorite widescreen movies, but it's not a whole lot. In my opinion, it's still a perfectly watchable image, and if you really want to get the full pixel for pixel, then you should use a system like a MadVR or something along those lines. Now, another thing that I really enjoy about these walls is we can still bring in just a single image. If we wanted to just zoom the 16x9 so that it filled the screen vertically, we could do that and maintaining our 16x9 aspect ratio. But something fun that Wicked Smart has done is they've actually built in TVs into their system. And so they actually have a 98-inch screen, an equivalent of a 98-inch screen here, which this is what that would look like on our system with a 151-inch 98 on the inside. The background layer is again controlled in the preset, so we have an input there, which is a art input on the back, so we can set this to whatever we want. It can be another input entirely with art scrolling, like a lot of people, like you can see over here in their homes, they really like to have colorful artwork on the walls. We can do that on the background layer, but have our TV with our favorite sports game or news or whatever it is that we're watching on the inside. So this is what a 98-inch TV is going to look like on our 151-inch display. But they also have a 65-inch, which is kind of fun because you can really start to see the difference in the sizes. A 65-inch just almost looks like a postage stamp on this 151-inch display. You know, I really like the setup that Wicked Smart has done here with a lot of these things, but you can literally do whatever it is that you want. Like if you want to have two of these side by side with art in the background or a moving image in the background, you can do that. Another really important thing that we have control over via our control systems is the brightness of the wall, and we can stop that down to 1% all the way through 100%. And what that does is in a room like this where we may have windows, we can pull those windows open during the middle of the day, pop this up to 100% output. Right now it's probably at like 60%, and then have a perfectly watchable image even with all the lights on and the windows open because of our MicroLED technology, where never before we could produce an image like that. Or if we have a dark room, a dedicated room, we can drop it down to 20-30% output and not blow ourselves away with brightness off of the wall, but have a still enjoyable, perfectly watchable image for hours and hours and hours. So this is really what we believe to be the future of display, that is micro LED systems And Just Video Walls is partnering with companies like Wicked Smart Homes here in Sarasota, Florida, because Wicked Smart are the guys who are capable of producing this experience in every room in the house, and not just video walls, with lighting, with shades, with control systems, with all sorts of other things that you never knew even existed in home and AV and design and architecture. Our partners are capable of producing, and we want to bring this into your home. So if you're interested in a setup like this, you gotta find us at justvideowalls.com, and we'll get you connected with an integrator who can produce an awesome, amazing experience just like this.